This is Matt for Into Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by JD's Josh Denzel. Josh.
JD for JD.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you. I've spoke to you before, I think in Gibraltar last time I actually saw you in person. We've seen a lot of antics.
Yeah.
You're close to Del.
Yeah.
You seem to get on with him really well. I want to start, how does that relationship come about?
Do you know what? I've known Del and a bit and the people around him for a while, but I guess it got a lot closer because I used to work with David Hay a lot. Obviously, when he come back and fought Tony Bellew, then Dereck obviously come to the gym, and Haymaker Gym's down the road from my house, so we used to go in there. I'd do a little bit of training, speak to Del, and we got on really, really well. Like, he's good friends with my manager Steph, and it was kind of like a little family. So over the course of lockdown, especially, I was in the gym every day. Del was in the gym every single day. We'd have a chat. He'd turn up at my house. He'd knock on the door at 8 in the morning, and go, "Hey." You know what I mean? You know how he is, and he kind of strolls up and goes, It's time for you to come with me." He'd drag me in the Viano, we listen to some tunes, and we go off around London just gallivanting about. Like, you know what I mean? We go for dinners, go for a bit of lunch in Central. You see him, he'll have the driver pick him up in a Mercedes, and he's in the middle of the West End, roll down the window, and he'll shout at the guy, literally outside the restaurant, go, "Any spaces for me?" And they all know him.
Yeah.
They all know him, and they're like, "Yeah, Dereck, come in, don't worry. We'll go down, sit and have a nice bit of lunch." It's crazy.
Well, let's be honest, if he wants to go anywhere, you're not saying no.
I'm saying no to
I mean,
you know what I mean?
he just walks into your house and like, "Right, we're going," and you're like, "Yeah, whatever."
It's funny, you know what I mean? He actually inspired, because I've got, where I live on the river. I'm not going to tell too much, but I was looking at, you can see a massive view of London. He's like, "You should get some binoculars." I was like, "What, to look at the birds or look at, like, do you know what I mean, look at the boats outside?" He's like, no, spy on people. You need to know what everyone's up to." And I was like, "Dereck, fuck it, I'm going to go and get a pair of binoculars, mate. Just catch me at any point and just spying on people."
I think I've seen that on your Instagram, the view you've got. I mean, 100% definitely get some unbelievable views. Let's get back to this fight weekend. We saw it before the, I think it was the previous fight, where he was like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
What were the moments like for you in and around that? Because a lot of people are like, he's trying to drive up interest. But then for people in boxing, like, no, this is Del.
Yeah.
What was that like for you being in and around him? Were you there trying to say, no, look, stay, trying to convince him? What was that like for you?
He's a man that will do what he wants. He's an unstoppable force. So if he's got it in his head he's going to do something, and it can change like that. You know what I mean? If he thinks, I'm not walking first, he's like, "Right, no, I don't, you're not respecting me." We've seen him up there, and he's leaving press conferences. He's got these antics. I was telling him, like, "Del, like, you've got to fight. Like, everyone's looking forward to this. I think you can win." He knows he can win. You know what I mean? And he showed it. I'm saying, you can't let these little things bother you. But if it affects him, it's all he thinks about for days on end and hours on end. So he's like, "No, I'm not having it." And if he feels disrespected, he's going to let people know. So he packed his stuff up. At one point, I'm trying to hold, a plastic box of his stuff, and he's going, "Fucking give it to me." And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm not arguing with him, but if he wants to go, he's going to go. But I think there was a large group of people that convinced him that it was a good idea to probably stay and have that fight.
This time round, you were playing musical chairs at the open workout yesterday for a JD vouchers.
Yeah.
How wrong would that have been if you would have won that, by the way? I mean, come on.
Listen, that's the
you
only
let him
reason,
have it.
That's the only reason why I let Crawler have it. He's quick on his feet, but I thought, do you know what? If I really wanted it, I could have had him.
Give him a pass.
I give him a pass. Sonny Bill, obviously, I think he was almost too big. He's one of the greatest rugby players of all time. Yeah, I mean, if he was out, I thought I fancy my chances, because he was my main competition. And he, I let him go, because otherwise, I already work for JD. They pay me enough money, so I'm all right.
Just before we ask for a prediction, I want to know, you see a lot of celebrity boxing, YouTube boxing, Jake Paul. We saw that their event at Manchester Arena. I think Tom Zanetti was supposed to be headlining. The opponent pulled out. Have you ever thought about it? You've trained in the gym. Obviously, Della dragged you to the gym for it. I'm sure he'd train you for it if he thought it were funny enough.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in doing something like that? I mean, to add to whatever else you're doing.
I would absolutely love it. You know what I mean? It's one of them ones where you sit here and you talk about boxing, you watch it, you're ingrained in it. But I've done a bit of sparring, I've done a bit of boxing, but I've never had a proper scrap. So it'd be something that I feel like it's definitely on the bucket list. I would love to do it. When I was training a lot in the gym, I was putting up videos of me hitting the bag and doing pads, and I had Luke Mabbott, right, who was supposed to fight Tom Zanetti. He was messaging me saying, "Oh, if you fancy the scrap," I say, "Sweet, let's make it happen." And obviously, you're working, you're going to England camp, you're doing all this and that, so I actually couldn't go.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, you know what? Maybe it's up there in my. I'm thinking maybe I could fight somebody. I don't know who though. That's the question.
Oh, we'll find you someone here. Charlie Parsons always wanting to fight with someone. We can we'll drag him in for it.
Take it. I'm sizing you out. Let's see what's going on over here.
We're getting a promoter cut for it though. Finally, Dereck Chisora Josh Parker.
Yeah.
Tell me your official prediction. I know you sort of will be obviously Del Boy's camp. How does he do it though? What's he got to change from last time? Let me know.
Obviously, I think he come out fast. I think Parker in that first fight was a bit of a rabbit in the headlight situation. Obviously, he came out straight and got flattened. First round, got flattened. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Yeah. And I think if Del sticks it on him, I think Parker, he's a great fighter. I think he's very technically very good. He looks a little bit bigger for this fight as well. Yeah. But I think that aggression and that constant pressure, I don't think that Parker's a nasty guy. I don't think he has that nasty streak in him, whereas Del, he definitely has that. So I feel like if Parker comes out and is more aggressive, it almost going against his, what makes him him. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that plays into Del's hands. He's one of those fighters. He'll take one to give one. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He got great chin. You know what I mean? He's one of those people that he will fight, and he looks like when he goes back to the corner that he's out on his feet. And guess what? He comes back with exactly the same energy he had in the first round. So I feel like if Parker comes out aggressive, I think that does play into Del's hands, and I think he could get stopped. I think he will leave some openings for Del to swing in some of them big hooks. Yeah, I mean, I see him in camp working on a few things, so I look forward to it. I think Del might stop him this round.
Right, I'm looking forward to it. Josh, thanks very much for talking to Into Boxing. Fingers crossed we can catch up again.
Always, mate. Love your stuff, bro. No worries, mate.